Now that we're done with that crime, let's get back to this kind of crime. That's right. We're doing some serious news coverage here at the Hasanabi News broadcast. We're back. We're live. We are going to be going to Tennessee, where 2 Tennessee lawmakers out of the 3 that were protesting alongside these students protesting for gun control were officially expelled from the state house for being mean and, causing chaos. Of course, the 2 lawmakers that were expelled were both young black men, whereas the 3rd lawmaker that was not expelled was a older white lady. I wonder why, or I wonder how that happened. Anyway, let's take a look.
Again this morning with the growing uproar after 2 black lawmakers were expelled from Tennessee's legislature. Democratic Representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson were removed by Republicans for taking part in a pro-gun control protest inside the House chamber last week. The protest followed the Nashville school shooting that left 6 dead. A 3rd Democrat, Gloria Johnson, escaped expulsion by just 1 vote. Protesters at the state capitol denounced the vote, and President Biden called it shocking, undemocratic, and without precedent. Mark Strassman is outside the Capitol in Nashville. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Natalie. Never before has a Tennessee lawmaker, never mind 2 Tennessee lawmakers, been expelled on partisan grounds. But in a polarized country, the gloves are off.
They walked in hand as the Tennessee 3. Only 1 walked out, still a lawmaker. Tennessee Representatives Justin Jones, Gloria Johnson, and Justin Pearson addressed their colleagues in Nashville. But Americans all over were also watching.
We shall not bow.
I have to raise the voice of the people in my district.
Our silence about gun violence is the antithesis of what is in the best interest of the people of the state of Tennessee.
Power to the people.
Here's why the 3 Democrats had their seats on the line. Last week's protest on the State House floor with a bullhorn. They were angry about the lack of debate over gun laws after the slaughter at Nashville's Covenant School last week.
Just because you don't get your way, you can't come to the well, bring your friends, and throw a temper tantrum with an adolescent.
I hate that they're describing this as being a result of polarization, fucking despicable shit the media does. Yes. One very important component of this news story that's like pretty cut and dry in many respects is the news coverage of it has been, I don't even want to say like lackluster, shitty. I feel like it's like deliberately awful. It has been, this is such an obvious miscarriage of justice. This is such an obvious undemocratic, moment. Like, think about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene and others facilitated in the January 6th insurrection, including Donald Trump. None of those people, and that event actually like led to people dying. This was an otherwise peaceful protest that was frustrating for the lawmakers in that moment. Frustrating for 2 reasons. 1, because they were yelling, and 2, because they don't want to do anything, and they absolutely they despise facing their constituents, right? There is no both siding this situation or making an equivalence, a false equivalence to how this is similar to making this a false equivalence to January 6th, okay? The fact that the media is not covering it, on those terms and how unimaginably undemocratic this is, that they just like literally utilized a bullshit fucking reason to expel 2 black lawmakers from the Tennessee State House of Representatives is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. It's Tennessee though, like come on. But like come on for the supposed liberal media, right? Aren't these guys supposed to be the libtards? Aren't they supposed to be like straight up biased? This is a very obvious thing that the Republicans did here. And I suspect that they will keep doing shit like this everywhere else as well. There was another example of this where there was a representative flip in North Carolina from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. Like, they are doing everything they can. They're engaging in every undemocratic thing that they can get away with.
Bullhorn.
Outraged Republicans here have a supermajority, more than enough votes to expel the 3 Democrats.
What is happening here today is a farce of democracy.
Justin Jones defended himself first.
Yeah, sorry. In North Carolina, a representative that was a Democrat flipped over to Republican, offering Republicans a majority in the state legislature.
Defiant, passionate, and voted out.
The jury.
I hereby declare Representative Justin Jones,
offering them a supermajority,
of the 57 Representative District, expelled.
Gloria Johnson went next, a former teacher who had a student die in a school shooting.
It's the guns. It's the people that have the guns, because we are not doing anything to make sure that people who are not safe don't have guns.
The measure to expel Johnson failed by 1 vote. Finally, Representative Justin Pearson spoke.
I don't personally want attention. What I want is attention on the issue of gun violence. But instead, we're here with a resolution you put up talking about expelling me for advocating for ending gun violence in the state of...
The white lady never used the bullhorn, but was standing next to the 2 others that were using the bullhorn. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit, brother. Come on now. Like, that's what the fucking counter that they're using. If you ask the white lady herself, she openly stated what the fucking real reason was. You think they give a fuck about that? Shut up. Shut the fuck up. That also implies that, like, it literally, that also implies that, like, there's any justification for this expulsion. Like, come on, brother. I know that that's what they are saying. I know that's what the Republicans are saying, but they weren't even looking for plausible deniability in this circumstance. They weren't. If that was the case, for the record, all 3 of them would have had different charges. As a matter of fact, all 3 of the members of the House of Representatives that were up for expulsion were up on the same fucking charges. No, this was a very clear fuck you. Cope harder? Cope with what, dude? What you don't understand is none of these people have your best interests at heart. If you're coming in here to be like, I am totally on the side of the Republicans on this one and in the state of Tennessee, okay, you're a fucking idiot, okay? Politicians are not looking out for you. And in the rare instance where one of them actually is, okay, or 2 of them or 3 of them actually are, all of a sudden, they get fucking ousted. You think that that's inappropriate. That's so, I mean, I think that that's inappropriate. You think that that's justifiable. That's so weird, dude. Not you, Hasan, the guy. Oh, never mind. It's a misfire. I thought you were coming in hot. Defending the fucking Tennessee state reps here. As a Tennessean, this is horrific to see. Chatter saying, fuck Tennessee. Remember that many leftists and liberal minorities exist here too. We were fighting a good fight just like everyone else. Yeah, also, like, even Tennessee Republicans don't deserve the shitty hand that they're dealt with, like, a lack of Medicaid expansion, for example. It doesn't matter if they're Republicans, okay? Poor Tennesseans are not getting what they could in this regard. I don't care. I don't care. I don't think that it's only like the good Tennesseans or the people in Tennessee that have the right opinions that deserve a better form of governance. I think all Tennesseans deserve it, no matter what happens. It's the principle that I advocate for when I talk about Medicare for all.
Tennessee.
Pearson, like Jones, expelled.
A state in which the Ku Klux Klan was founded.
There's
is
that
now
part.
Attempting another power grab by silencing the 2 youngest black representatives.
After the hearing, Johnson was asked why her seat was saved while the other 2 lawmakers lost theirs.
It might have to do with the color of our skin.
Yeah. She knows why it happened. Meanwhile, you still got motherfuckers chirping like, actually, that's not the reason. No. I said this yesterday. They could have very easily expelled her as well, and then they would have had a level of plausible deniability, right? They could have had a level of plausible deniability and been like, actually, you're racist for even acknowledging it. Actually, that's really fucked up that you're mentioning this because, like, the white lady got expelled too. No, they did it on purpose, okay? They did it on purpose. That doesn't happen by accident. Do you understand? I think the reason why they did it was to say, fuck you. The reason why they did it is the exact same reason why they came out of the gates originally okay, they came out of the gates originally and said, we're not going to fix it when asked about what they will do in the aftermath of yet another mass shooting that took place in their state. I think it was more so just to say, fuck you. What are you going to do about it? Like I said, I think this was done intentionally. They could have easily been racist and then claimed plausible deniability by expelling all 3 of the members, but they chose to expel only the 2 black men. I think that they wanted to openly show that they don't give a fuck, that they're doing it so you understand why they're doing it. Okay? The Tennessee Republicans already hated Justin Jones. Yeah. Here, trigger warning. Obviously, this is not real, but it's a hanged person. A Good Friday presentation at St. Mary's Catholic Church on the Highway 45 bypass alarmed a few of our readers this morning, but according to organizers within the church, the mannequin hanging from a tree behind the church was meant to symbolize Judas Iscariot. He's the disciple who betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver and later hung himself out of guilt. The organizers also said the display will be taken down later today. Tennessee is fucking insane, dog. Like, look at this shit. Look how fucking terrifying this is, dude. Also, from afar, you wouldn't immediately think, oh, this must be a Jesus display. It looks like it was a black person that they hanged. Anyway, it's not real, for the record. That's why I showed it to you. Yeah, bro, the burning cross on my lawn is because I love Christ with a burning passion. Make no mistake. Anyway, why are you saying TOS, Lucky Pom Pom? That's not a real... It is a display put up by a church. It's not a real person that was hanged. You are my moderator. Come on now.
Allegations of racism were both part of the debate and the reaction after the vote. White Republicans expelled 2 lawmakers, both young black men. Both Jones and Pearson could run for their seats again in a special election. But the question in the minds of a lot of people here is, should they really have to?
Yeah, that's, by the way, only at the end of the fucking article did they actually genuinely say what is going on here. You know what I mean?
Now, one of the 2 state representatives who was expelled last night, and that is Justin Jones. Justin, good morning.
He's like, should have been Ben, dude. It could have been a real guy, dude.
I really appreciate you joining us. I know you haven't had any sleep, and I have to commend you right off on the way that...
I know Don Lemon is on his way out from CNN for like rampant misogyny or whatever, but I do think that these glasses look good on him. I know it's, unrelated to the story, but let's continue.
You have conducted yourself, you and your colleagues. It has been notable, and so thank you for joining us. This has captured the attention of the country. Your message to the nation this morning after having been expelled. How are you feeling?
Sorry, thank you so much for having me this morning, Don. Sorry, I'm operating on very little sleep.
No need to apologize at all.
What happened yesterday was a very sad day for democracy, not just in Tennessee, but in this nation. And so I think that there's a lot of thoughts going through my head. The House Republicans chairman who you just saw in this video is still doubling down, even though he is the same Republican chairman who engaged in inappropriate behavior and is still in leadership, as you can see, and was not expelled. But, we have been expelled for standing with our constituents, but I have no regrets and will continue to speak up for District 52 and for Tennesseans who are demanding change.
Let's talk a little bit more about your colleague. You're talking about Jeremy Faison. He's a Republican caucus chair in the State House. Last night, he did an interview with my colleague, Caitlin Collins, and he said he was wondering why you haven't apologized. Let's listen, and then we'll get your response.
I'd like to add to y'all, they've not backed down from that either. I told them earlier today, I feel like if they would have said, you know what, we messed up. I mean, what American, what human won't bring forgiveness and redemption, but they've doubled down and went so far as...
I'm losing my mind. Like, they are trivializing this situation. Make no mistake. What the Tennessee State House Republicans did is infinitely worse, like unimaginably worse than what they are supposedly, quote unquote, upset about. Okay? That's insane. They're so fucking arrogant and so whiny and so condescending. It's like, it literally is like, I do declare order in the house. These unfaithful Jebediahs have spoken out of turn. You shall only speak when spoken to.
To stand in the well today and said, I'd do it again.
I mean, you haven't apologized? What is your response to that?
I mean, I think Representative Faison needs to reflect on his own actions as a representative. Earlier this year, last year, Representative Faison pulled down the pants of a referee because he got mad at a basketball game. And he's still in Republican leadership, not expelled, not sanctioned in any way. And so for him to tell us to apologize for standing up for our constituents, I told the speaker and I told that body yesterday that I would apologize when they apologize to the families in Covenant and in the mass shootings across this nation, particularly in our state, at Covenant and Antioch, in the Waffle House.
Wait, I missed it. What did he say?
Down and went so far as to stand in the well today and said, I'd do it again.
I mean, you haven't apologized? What is your response to that?
I mean, I think Representative Faison needs to reflect on his own actions as a representative. Earlier this year, last year, Representative.
Guys, calm down. Don Lemon is on his side. He's just saying, like, how do you respond to how silly that is?
Faison pulled down the pants of a referee because he got mad at a basketball game, and he's still.
Wait, what? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. What? Whoa. What? Bro, every fucking Tennessee, representative is unhinged, dog. What the fuck? That's not even half of it. Listen to the rest of the shit he says. Oh yeah, we already covered this. I already covered it. That's just that specific Tennessee representative who pantsed a referee at the age of 40. Okay? Wait, there's a video of it? Where? Also, what the fuck is the PA Knights, dude? Oh, wait. Providence Academy Knights? That's their fucking... Dude, that's... Weak-ass bitch. Couldn't even fucking pants him correctly, but also... Yeah, he just got... The greatest fucking counter to that is a strong belt. Yeah, I'm not crazy when I think this is like odd, right? Am I crazy? Is that normal? Like, what kind of Knights are they? Pennsylvania Knights? No, Providence Academy Knights. What the fuck? Providence Academy partners with their parents to equip students to develop spiritual maturity and achieve academic excellence through a biblically based, Christ-centered, classical education, so they will think and live in a manner which brings glory to God. Providence Academy provides a biblically based curriculum and teaches all subjects as a part of an integrated whole with the scriptures at the center. Annual scholarship dinner will feature Pete Hegseth, Fox News guy. Grandparents' Day. Douglas Wilson is an insane Christian fascist who wrote a novel about stealing a sex doll. What the fuck? Who the fuck is Douglas Wilson? Oh, this was another Tennessee state senator, Joey Hensley, defends prescribing opiates to relatives and lover, which, get this, doesn't end there. His lover is also his cousin. That's right, dude. It's the most Tennessee-ass story of all time. Pill popping, out of control, overprescribing opiates, and cousin fucking. Adulterer, cousin fucking. You think I'm making that shit up? That's a state senator, dog. The nurse with whom Hensley had a romantic relationship with is identified as his second cousin in case records and courtroom testimony from a separate proceeding. On Monday, a Tennessee Department of Health investigator testified Hensley wrote this woman at least 47 prescriptions for controlled substances from 2011 to 2018. Oh, I do say so myself. There ain't nothing better than fucking your cousin while you're both hopped up on some Zans. If that is not godlike, I don't want to be a follower of Christ. I do declare. Oh, I say. I do declare. Some people go to 23andMe to find out what their ancestors look like. I go to it to make sure I'm fucking the right people. Keep it in the family. Oh, I say, I keep it in the family. Keep the bloodlines pure. Cousin Pussy got me hollering hallelujah. The absolute temerity to be a pill-popping cousin fucker and still think that you're better than anyone. But yeah, they are better than anyone. They are better than everyone. Why? Because internally they're thinking like, we're well-bred. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got webbed toes, brother, but that's right. I'm well-bred. Born and bred out of the finest stock. What you consider to be genetic impurities, I consider to be purity. That's right. I got the righteous indignation. They're trying to make a new jaw. Yeah. My family bloodline is so pure, we're looking like pugs out here. You understand me?
Still in Republican leadership, not expelled, not sanctioned in any way. And so for him to tell us to apologize for standing up for our constituents, I told the speaker and I told that body yesterday that I would apologize when they apologize to the families in Covenant and in the mass shootings across this nation, particularly in our state, at Covenant and Antioch, in the Waffle House mass shooting, for these reckless gun laws that they passed that allowed people to lose their loved ones. Apologize to the families of the victims of these mass shootings, and we will apologize for our actions.
I think I know the answer to this, but I have to ask you anyway, just for the record. So you could be reelected. Do you want to serve again, Justin?
I mean, definitely. I think what happened was a travesty of democracy because they expelled the two youngest black lawmakers, which is no coincidence, from the Tennessee legislature because we are outspoken, because we fight for our district. And I would, want to continue to do that, and whether I'm inside the chamber or outside the chamber. Because what we saw in Tennessee yesterday was an attack on democracy and a very overt racism. As you could see that the two youngest black lawmakers were kicked out, but our colleague, my dear sister Gloria Johnson, a white woman, was not. And we see clearly, the nation has seen clearly what is going on in Tennessee.
Yeah, listen, to say there's a double standard, some people may sort of speculate about it, but I think it is obvious considering that the two black members who were men, right, were expelled, but the white woman was not. What do you want to say to that? Speak more, please.
I want to say that this is what we've been challenging all session, was a very toxic, racist work environment where we are not even allowed to speak. That's why we went to the well, because the speaker wouldn't call on us. He cut off our microphones. He ruled us out of order anytime we brought up the issue of gun violence. When I went outside to support the protesters, he turned off my voting machine so I couldn't even cast a vote on the House floor. I mean, this is what we've dealt with all session. And yesterday, the nation was able to see that we don't have democracy in Tennessee, particularly when it comes to black and brown communities. And so, what we saw yesterday was an attack on this future of a multiracial democracy.
It's so fucking, I don't know. It's just so incredibly insane that this happened, but also very expected. I don't know what else to say about this other than the fact that, like, that's America, baby.
But we are the state where the birthplace of the Klan. We're a state where we had a KKK statue in our capital until very recently, and we protested to have that removed. But what they're trying to do is to bring us back to days that we don't want to go to. If I didn't know this happened to me, I would think that this was 1963 instead of 2023.
If the Nashville City Council next week wants to appoint you as an interim representative to your district, you would do it?
Most definitely.
Yes. Let's talk about the issue.
Yeah, so their city council could technically reappoint him as the representative. And then also on top of that, when there is a new election that takes place, they will run again. So he will get back in. It is incredibly stupid that they did this, like incredibly. Why did they do it, you might ask, especially because it will literally backfire on them. Well, they did it because they can. That's it. That's the whole point of this. What is this?
National Rifle Association and all of these gun lobbyists continue to be able to have control over our legislation. What's going through my mind?
What? I don't like the memes. Like, I get it. Yes, he looks. Yes, he's kind of got some old timey vibes to him. I just stop hyper focusing on the aesthetics of this, please. Okay.
Well, let me ask you why, considering everything that has happened right now, why even go through all the rigmarole?
Because it's important to let them know that democracy, we will fight for democracy. We will fight for a multiracial democracy. And so this extreme tactic to expel us and to try to humiliate us has only put a spotlight of the world on Tennessee. And so I will go back because fighting for the future. I'm 27 years old, fighting for the future that I want to live in, that I want my children to live in. It's worth whatever sacrifice that we have to give, whether it's being expelled, whether it's being in a hostile environment, because I want to create a community that our young people cannot just survive, but they can thrive and flourish. And that's what we were asking. The most very basic thing was to ban assault weapons so we can stop these mass shootings. Instead, they responded by assaulting democracy. And that is shameful and it's very scary.
Do you think you can work with them? There's so much opposition there.
I mean, we are the voice of the opposition party. Our role, in our party, there was only 24 members. Now there's 22, 75 Republicans. Our role was to be a speed bump, to try and stop them from driving this train off the cliff so that we no longer have democracy. I mean, our job was to be a voice of moral dissent. Our job was to be a voice of...
Yeah, like when we're done thinking about how fucking insane it is that Tennessee Republicans basically just like expelled a bunch of their colleagues for the crime of dissenting, okay, and loudly. Then we got to talk about the issue at hand, which is that they were protesting partially because they were not allowed a microphone or a voice that they actually are supposed to have in that circumstance. They were protesting for gun control. They were protesting and doing what they are supposed to do as representatives. They were representing their constituents. Their constituents were the ones that were protesting, and they were following the lead of their constituents. Meanwhile, of course, nothing happened, like I said, to the one Tennessee Republican who was debate lording the children, asking them what kind of gun they would rather be shot with. That's a real thing that happened when constituents were inside of the halls of the Tennessee State House. One of the representatives asked them, well, all guns are bad. What kind of gun would you rather be shot with? Come on, tell me now. Just incredible shit. Like making it seem as though, gun violence, well, I guess technically he's not wrong, is an inevitability in this country. It's inevitable. Might as well choose.
Of check on power. That was what we did, and that's what we did every day we were in the body, which is why they expelled us. Because in every committee I was on, I stood up and spoke out on the House floor. We're some of the most outspoken members, and they retaliated not because of that one incident of us going to the well and joining those young people protesting gun violence, but because they got tired and did not feel like young black men have a right to be at the same dais as them. They felt like young black men don't have the right to sit in the chamber with them. They don't see us as equal. The House Speaker Cameron Sexton has trafficked in the rhetoric of racism. He's trafficked in the rhetoric of racialized narratives, and so we know what we're facing, but it's worth whatever sacrifice we have to make because the future we want to live in is what we're working for.
One last thing. In an odd way, this has given you a much bigger platform, right? The White House is weighing in, the current and the former White House, current and former presidents both weighing in on this.
Wait, what did Trump say? It's good that they got banned.
You tend to use that newly garnered platform, elevated platform that you have.
They should take out the January 6th protesters from prison and put this man in prison in his stead. I know Obama said something. I'm making a joke, chat. I know it was probably Obama and Joseph Robinette Brandon. I don't think that Donald Trump came out. If he said something, I would assume.
I mean, what our protest was about when we went to the well to stand with these young people was to elevate their voices. And so with this platform, we hope to continue.
But hey, guys, he did it civilly. He destroyed his interlocutors in the marketplace of ideas while he simultaneously told them that no change will ever come. So in the eyes of liberals, or even in the eyes of the Tennessee House of Representatives, like that kind of stuff is fine.
To lift up the issues that a week after mass shooting, I represented a part of Nashville, and our community is still grieving. Our community is in trauma. These young people are begging us to say we want to live in schools. We must continue to lift up the issues. And like I told my colleagues who expelled me, no matter if they vote to expel me or not, what I did was for their children and grandchildren too. We want their children and grandchildren to be safe from mass shootings. We want them to live lives where they can flourish and be children and not have to do active shooter drills or live in schools that look like militarized zones. And so we'll continue to lift up the issue. And we'll continue to speak truth to power. And I'll be back at the Capitol on Monday on the outside with those protesting, demanding action from my former colleagues.
Justin Jones, we appreciate you joining us. Our regards, best to you, best to